Good morning guys from the Golden Triangle in Laos, in the rustic old town of Mang Singh. Today we're going to have a look around, checking a little bit about drug trafficking with opium, stuff like that, and other stuff, and human trafficking, and we're going to also check out a bit about scam call centers. So we're going to start out here in Mang Singh. We're going to travel through the Golden Triangle, different parts of it, and through into Thailand, and have a look into Myanmar side even a wee bit. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's go. So the last time I was here was 15 years ago, and it's really changed a lot. I've been talking to local people about everything, and the population's doubled pretty much. A lot of the hill tribe people have come down from the hills to live in the main town here. Used to be you'd see one car on the main street here every couple minutes. So there are about 20 times more cars now and motorbikes. This is an old restaurant I remember having breakfast at early morning when I was here 15 years ago. So Mang Singh is up in the very far northwest corner of Laos. Very rugged place, and there's a border crossing into China here, very close, and also there's a border crossing into Myanmar. They've recently built a bridge over into Myanmar, but of course at the moment there's a war in Myanmar. Beautiful old tribal museum here. So the border crossings are not open for everyone. They're mostly for just local people. Well, totally just for local people, pretty much. I guess the Chinese border, they might let some Chinese who are from further away from the border cross over for trading purposes. And word is that they're about to open that Chinese border crossing to make it a full international border crossing. So that's going to change things quite a bit around here. But yeah, it has changed quite a lot already. Somebody. And yeah, it's just, somehow I feel a bit surprised. It was such a sleepy place before. The morning news speaker, you get this in Thailand as well. The local authorities like to blast the news, and local bigwigs like to speak through the loudspeaker and tell people about local goings-on. It's a good way to keep people informed and keep people on the same page, I guess, somehow. So, this is a place 15 years ago, I was told anyway, you could still hear tigers roaring at night in the jungle, just up in the hills. You can see in the mist there are hills there. The border of Myanmar is just behind those hills. I didn't hear any tigers back then, but talking to people here now, they say they think there are probably no more tigers. Yeah, I mean, you never know. There's probably the odd one around, right? Somewhere, but yeah. Quite sad. Seems to be in Laos now. That is, it would be very difficult to find a tiger. But I'm pretty hopeful, positive person. I think there must be a few sprinkled around somewhere that have learned to avoid humans. Wild dogs running around on the dusty streets here. It was in the past that the main street was the only paved street, so a lot more paved streets here now. So the border with Myanmar up here is a hotbed for smuggling. These days, the drug of choice has moved from opium to methamphetamines, what they call yaba, and it's smuggled across the borders. Big international business, very dangerous stuff, of course. and a lot of violence associated with it. But used to be hippie backpackers used to come up here and find a shack in a local village, usually the Aka people, and smoke some opium. The Aka tribeswoman used to come down into the town here and sell opium and marijuana. And yeah, little birdie told me, we'll say. Of course, I wouldn't try some stuff like that, but that's what I've been told anyway. Yeah. Here's the back of one of the markets. A lot of the hill tribe people, like I said, have come down from the villages into the town, so that means they're not growing opium poppies like they used to anymore. Not so much. The government of Laos has tried to eradicate opium for many years now, so the production of that has really gone down, and haven't seen any tribe people trying to sell it so far on this trip. Bit of a cabinet of horrors, but someone seems to like it. Little bit of rain. I was looking around for some bushmeat, wild animals from the jungle, but apparently the bushmeat people haven't arrived yet. Maybe the rain has put them off a little bit. Some hill tribe people don't like to be photographed because they believe the camera can take their something or other from their energy, their spiritual energy. Sabadi, you make khao soi? Yeah, oh, nice kitchen, I like it, with some natural wood burning there. Good morning, hello, you speak English? This dish is called khao soi. Khao soi is a specialty in this region, and in this market it's supposed to be the best in town. Let's try a little bit. Some kind of a pork noodle, I think a little bit spicy. Really good. A little bit of bushmeat here. Hello, somebody. What this one? Interesting. Here's the little bus station. It's just for vans, really, mostly. Across the road from the old market in Mang Singh. Can get transport here to Luang Nam Ta and maybe a few other places. Hello, Savadi. It's a puppy. Puppies. Oh. Can eat. Really? Oh, wow. Alright guys, so I've just traveled from Mang Singh to the Golden Triangle, the special economic zone. It's very famous for, or infamous for, scam call centers, and it's basically a Chinese enclave. It's got its own security. It's like a little part of China almost in Laos. I'm gonna see if I can get in here, and we'll see what we can find. So I got through the passport control, no problem, just had to show my passport. Only a few months ago, foreigners were not allowed in here, just Chinese and people from the region who worked in here. There are actually some nice landscaped parks and lakes, it's very unexpected. Okay, so I had some dinner and it's nighttime now, and I'm outside the main entrance of the King's Roman Casino, the main casino in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone. So I was able to get in here today. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, basically it's just been open for Western passports for a very short time. So is it dangerous here? The reputation of this place is that it's very dangerous. This is a hotbed of call center scamming and other things associated with that, like human trafficking, people forced into slavery to work in call centers, people turning up dead, and people being beaten, people being forced into sexual slavery, and also drug trafficking. So there's a lot of reports of all kinds of unsavory things happening around here. And how is it now? Well, I can tell you a little bit. Oh, another one that's definitely worth mentioning is the trade in illegal, well, yeah, it would be illegal, wouldn't it? Endangered wildlife, body parts, like for making special kind of what they call natural medicines, traditional Chinese medicines. So it's a Chinese enclave here, set up for Chinese, and most of the low-level staff are not Chinese, of course. They're mostly people from Myanmar and Laos and other places, and the call center staff that were forced into it were from all kinds of places, just whoever was good at working with computers basically, or good at talking or kind of customer relations type stuff, and they are forced into calling people and conning them in various ways, romance scams and investment scams, Bitcoin scams, so on. And look at the luxury cars that you see around here. Many, many luxury cars. And where are the number plates? They have these special numbers here. They're for use only in the special economic zone. So these kind of gangster types can zoom around in here, and they can get up to stuff that they're not allowed to do in China. And the place is still growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's a small city actually, but it is definitely a city. There's a lot of tall buildings here, some of them not finished, so it's ongoing. These buildings here are not finished yet. It's just growing and growing, and obviously it is a city and it's going to keep growing. So this area, for example, on the other side of this man-made lake here, there's a night market here. We'll have a look at a little bit of it in a minute, and this part is called Little Venice here. Now it's not lit up as much as it could be, obviously, but you can see it in the evening light here, the dimness, the little bit of artificial light that they do have. Probably would look better with a bit more lighting, but you can get the idea. They've made a what they call a Little Venice type thing, a little European type style set up here. So what's the deal? You know, is it still the same kind of thing happening here? People being kidnapped and so on. Only a few months ago, if I came here, if I could have got in, I would have been at serious risk of kidnap. Is it like that now? Well, actually I talked to a couple guys from Africa today who didn't want to be filmed. Actually, I told them a bit of a story so they would not know what I'm actually doing here. So they trusted me and they told me what the deal is. Hello. They told me basically what the situation is here. And they said, yeah, like the scam call centers are still operating. But as far as the slavery side of it, mostly now it's been changed to volunteers. Well, you know, paid volunteers, obviously. People from Africa and India, maybe a few from Pakistan, South Asia, basically. Anyone who's good with a computer, anyone who speaks good English, who can con people. That's how it is these days. But I talked with them a bit. They said, be careful. There are still, according to them, some bosses here who do not let their workers out, keep them locked in. So yeah, that's the definition of the scam call center slavery business, isn't it? So that's how it is, apparently, right? And I definitely believe what they said. So it's food for thought. So you would want to be a bit careful what you get up to around here. Now there's also like the drug business, drug trafficking. So it's all kinds of trafficking in animal parts and people and drugs and all kinds of stuff, right? So as far as like drugs, there's a bit of the traditional opium trafficking, which is what the Golden Triangle is famous for, going back a long time. But in recent decades, methamphetamine has become the drug of choice in the region, what they call in Thailand yaba. And in other countries, they have other nicknames for that. We don't need to give a whole list for the nicknames of every country, but yeah, people say there's a lot of that stuff going on, right? I didn't talk about that with those guys. It's a bit too much to ask of two people that would start to get suspicious. They were suspicious, actually, very suspicious as it was, and I had to chat a bit and tell them all kinds of fables to loosen them up a bit and get a bit of information. It took a while, actually. And anyway, they definitely are in that business themselves. So you see some people from Africa and South Asia walking around. Obviously they're not here on holiday. They don't look rich. They're not here to gamble. They're not high rollers. So it's a bit strange why it's not lit up here. I hope you can see this. It looks a bit like Disneyland. This is a kind of a central plaza of the Little Venice area. And there's this kind of cool bridge which reminds me a bit of maybe Prague, for example. So I want to tell you a little bit about the history of this place. In 2007, this was rice fields, and a super rich Chinese businessman bought a concession, 99-year concession, to develop this place as a special economic zone. He bought that from the Laos government, which is kind of a questionable deal, you might think, considering some of the activities that have been said to go on here. But okay. And in recent months, the Laos government has responded to international pressure from powerful countries in the world to crack down on some of the more unsavory aspects, especially the call center scam stuff. But as you can see, people walking around here from, well, you might not have seen it in the video yet, but there are people walking around here from Africa and India and so on who are definitely not tourists. That's for sure. And like I said, I've spoken to some of them and they've said the same thing. And so, like, in the actual night market, there are some girls, like the one who just walked past. They seem to be mostly from China. Some are from Laos. That's what I was told. I asked a few people quietly, discreetly. And there are definitely some services available. You can see the expensive cars parked up over here. So, yeah, there are some kinds of services available for gentlemen, so to speak. Not cheap. We will not get into that. We're not trying to promote it, but if we were trying to promote it, we certainly wouldn't recommend for the average person to come here because it's not cheap. This place is organized to extract money from the pockets of people who have too much money and not enough, too many dollars and not enough cents, let's say. So, especially those from China who fit that description. Anyway, this is the Chinatown gate here. Is it a real Chinatown? Of course not. This is a fake Chinatown. Like everything here, it has a fake European area and it has a fake Chinese area. And looking over everything is the main casino set up by those who set up this place. That honking sound was a taxi. There are taxis here. Everything's run by apps. So it's like China. You have to pay for everything by app. And they prefer Chinese money. A place where everything's available for a price, maybe, depending on who you are. Yeah. But it's not gonna be the best price. But yeah. It's all kind of an imitation. Everything's an imitation here. There's a Golden Triangle International Border Checkpoint here in the Special Economic Zone, and you can cross by boat into Thailand, and I'm going to do that now, show you guys. The first time I crossed into Laos, up in the far north from Thailand, I crossed by boat at Hue Jai. That was about 15 years ago, and then about a couple years after that, they built a bridge over the Mekong River. But it's a very romantic way to cross the border. So that's what I'm going to do now and show you guys how to do it. Let's check it out. Hopefully it goes smoothly. So as you come in, there are some ATMs here. There's actually a shuttle that goes to the main casino. But if you're not a guest there, you have to pay, I think, 20 or 30 baht. You can pay in baht a bit around here. So I'm gonna see about stamping out. That's coming in, and this is going out. So I better turn off the camera for a bit. Okay, that was pretty painless. Didn't have to pay the scam fee, the $1 scam fee that people get charged for so-called overtime. But actually, technically, it's not overtime for Laos at the moment. That's, I think, weekends and after, like, I guess normal working hours in the weekdays, but it's kind of a scam, you know. It's like, it's not like a foreigner or tourists or travelers thing to be paying their overtime fee. It's for their government to pay that. All right, let's see about getting a boat ticket to get across. So, made it into Thailand again. Hello. So I have transport here to Chiang Rai Airport and bus station, and probably other places around here as well. So that's handy. This is it. This is the official Golden Triangle where Thailand, Myanmar, and Laos meet, and we're standing on Thai soil here. This is Thailand. This is Myanmar, and this is where we came from, Laos. Opium usage in the region was first documented in the 1700s. After World War II, Kuomintang nationalist forces were forced out of China and into the Golden Triangle region. The new communist government of China eradicated opium cultivation in the country in the 1950s. But this led to the exiled Kuomintang troops becoming dominant in the production of both opium and heroin in the region, and later the world. The rise of the beatnik and hippie alternative subcultures in the 50s and 60s made heroin, which had hitherto been mostly used by a tiny minority of musician types, become chic, and many lives were destroyed in an addiction epidemic that continues to this day in the West. Kunsa was the major player until the 90s, while today methamphetamines, ketamine, and other substances are preferred by the new generation of drug mafia bosses. About a decade ago, there was an episode of riverboat piracy with a massacre which was rumored to be over a drug deal gone wrong. Since then, the region has become somewhat less violent. So from where I crossed over from the scam city, which you can see just down in the distance there in Laos, where I crossed over, I've just come down here a few kilometers to the ancient city of Chiang Saen. It was one of the first Thai capitals in what is today modern Thailand. It's filled with ancient temple ruins, and it's very much worth visiting. I definitely recommend it to anyone who's coming around this way. Until 2022, it was possible to negotiate with a riverboat captain of a transport boat up in China to catch a ride down along the Mekong past Myanmar and Laos to Chiang Saen in Thailand. That was stopped, and has it resumed? Is it possible now? Who knows? I'd love to know. And if anyone does know, please drop a comment and tell the rest of us. Alright guys, so as we said, on the Laos side of the border there's very little opium cultivation these days. Most of it's happening on the Myanmar side of the border. We just looked over there. Thanks for coming along guys, and please hit subscribe and like, drop us a comment, and if you'd like to support the channel with the Buy Me a Coffee link or direct through YouTube, that'd be really cool. See you in the next one, and don't be late.